At the DNC this week, we saw men join the fight for reproductive freedom, from Vice Presidential nominee Tim Walz addressing his own family struggles with infertility to Josh Zerowaski, whose wife Amanda was denied an emergency abortion in Texas due to the state's strict abortion ban. And then there was Derek Cook, who took the DNC stage with his baby daughter and wife to share their harrowing miscarriage experience in Florida. Watch.
2 years ago, a miscarriage nearly killed me. At 16 weeks, my doctors told me to prepare for a stillbirth. I needed care, but my state's abortion restrictions kept it from me. I miscarried in a bathroom. I'll never forget my husband's face as he tried to stop the bleeding.
Joining me now is Derek Cook, an advocate with Men for Choice. Mr. Cook, it's great to have you on the show. Thank you for making time for us. So we just heard your wife there give that devastating account of the miscarriage you experienced. Just talk to me about it from your experience. What did it mean for you to stand there beside her at the DNC, and about your experience that led you to this advocacy?
Thanks for having me. It meant a lot, just standing out there on my wife's side, supporting her through the process, just being there for her. And, she been through so much, to try to have a baby and then to go through all of this and then get to this point. For me to not be on stage with her, I would have felt like a letdown to her. So I wanted to be there and support her as much as I possibly can, be there as a good husband and just love her at every moment and every process that she's going through. What led me up to this is, my wife, she had 19 miscarriages. 18 miscarriages. And, for us to have a baby now is just a blessing. So being there, was very, very important.
Yeah, and we've seen, you talked about the challenges of having a baby. We've seen Republicans now take steps to restrict not just abortion access, but also IVF, which you and your wife have relied on. What do you say to conservatives and Republicans in this country who are now trying to restrict IVF access as well as reproductive rights?
Shame. IVF gave us our daughter now. IVF got us to the point where my wife did get up to 16 weeks and she had a miscarriage. So the doctor stepped in at IVF to help us, have a baby. And now you guys trying to come in and take that away as well. We already lost a baby. You guys trying to take IVF away from women. You're trying to keep people from having families, and at every level. Why? That's my question.
Yeah, it's an important question. And I want to actually share something that you talked about in an interview with Capital B News. You talked about how your grandparents were born and raised in Alabama. There was obviously the state Supreme Court in that state ruling in February that imperiled IVF. And in a grim way, their stories of the anti-Black racism they experienced remind you of the present day attacks on IVF. You said, quote, "We don't need to go backwards. It seems like time just keeps repeating itself." Elaborate on that. How are these extreme restrictions disproportionately affecting or impacting Black families like yours?
Well, what was actually brought up is the fact that in Alabama, they are restricting people from having the abortions as well as Florida, and also attacking the IVF clinics. And it's already bad for, as many Blacks that lived in Alabama from back in the days. Like my grandparents used to have to, run home from the Ku Klux Klan just to survive and go to school the next day. It just made me feel like we're still fighting for something that was already done back in the days, and we're still fighting for it now. Like, no matter what, my granddad and grandmother had to run together, and now it's like me and my wife running together in the state of Florida to help women get choice over their bodies again.
All right, Derek Cook, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I greatly appreciate your advocacy on this, and an important reminder that men have a voice in this conversation as well. Thank you so much, Derek.
You're welcome. Thank you.